Hey everybody, I'm the Rest Mechanic, and today we're going to take a look at this guy. It's Takara Tomy MPG-09 Super Ginrai from the Super God Masterforce anime that premiered in Japan after the original G1 cartoon ended. This is Takara Tomy's new line that ends the Masterpiece line, and I'm going to go through everything in this box, and there is a lot to go through, so strap in. I'm going to do an unboxing. We're going to take a look at the alt mode, which is where it comes in the box. We'll do the transformation and do a review of the the robot mode of the cab. We're going to do a review of the trailer that also transforms, and then we'll do a review of the combined mode that forms the Super Ginrai character or figure. There's a ton of accessories in the box that we're going to go over. We'll go over the articulation of the figure as well, and then I'll finally give my final thoughts on the figure at the end. Speaking of the end of the video, if you stick around, I am giving this figure away at the end of the month, so at the time of the recording, that should be in a couple of days, I'm going to give it away as part of a raffle to support Kennedy's Village, which is a non-profit organization, and I currently have 250 entries, I believe, at the time of this recording, looking for 400 entries so that we can go ahead and give this guy away. Again, stick around at the end of the video, I'll have more details on that. With everything out of the way, let's get into it. We're going to dive right into this because, like I said, there is a ton to go through, but still the standard Masterpiece box design from Takara Tomy. It is a pretty big box. It's about the same size, I think, as the MP44, but then just, it shows everything that comes in the box, all the accessories and everything else. Packaging from Takara Tomy, everything's bubble wrapped. It does come with instructions, a card, and a set of stickers. We'll take a look at that later. Just to give you an idea of everything that it comes in, a dump load of accessories in the box with this guy, all nicely held into place. Everything's clipped into place so nothing's falling out, so that's nice. Let's take a look at it all. Let's start out with the alt mode because it does come in the box like this. As you saw from the box, it does come as two separate pieces. So there is just a peg here on the trailer that goes into this peg hole right here and allows for pivoting of the cab, and the trailer moves very, very nicely. Wheels have a nice smooth feel to them. Take a look at the cab closer. And just quickly with the trailer, so it does have a pair of legs that you can swing down just here on the side, which allows the trailer to stand on its own. Cab is very reminiscent of a standard Optimus Prime figure, of course. As you can tell, it's a little bit of smaller scale. Again, the MPG scale, they've changed up the scale again. It isn't quite Masterpiece scale, it's actually a little bit smaller, but it's definitely recognizable as Optimus. There's a combination of some painted parts. Actually, this entire cab is die-cast metal, and it's all painted. The section here down the middle, this is all painted in silver and red as well. But the rest of the figure is actually just molded plastic, which is actually a nice change. The blue is all molded plastic. The red parts back here are molded plastic. There are painted silver as well as part of the legs, but that's about it. So they haven't gone completely crazy with the paint, which I think I'm okay with, because then we don't have to worry about paint chipping or anything like that as we're doing the transformation, manipulating the figure or anything like that. Nice chrome accents here in the front grille as well as on the smokestacks, pipes. What are these called again? Maybe my only complaint is that we do have plastic wheels here instead of rubber. I think I would have liked the rubber better, but I mean, they do roll very nicely, so no complaints there. And then some nice details up front with the headlights and the fog lights, the bumper, even some riveting details and wiper details on the front. So some nice detail touches all around the cab. Again, very recognizable as Optimus Prime. The trailer is actually really impressive too, to be honest. And this, of course, transforms into the Super Ginrai mode that the cab will combine into. But lots of nice details and paint here. This is more painted than the cab. All the silver is painted here, the blue lines and silver lines painted on Autobot logo. Very, very nice. The arms are not painted, just molded plastic, some blue molded plastic on top and here. And some really nice details going on, like line details all around, doors in the back that do open. And it does just open like the left and the right. The whole back of the trailer doesn't open. It's just these two ramps like that. And unfortunately, there's no storage in the back too, which is a little irritating. But this is the part of his legs, so it's kind of not surprising. And if you take a look at the bottom, this is the only part I think that's also disappointing, is you can just see that this is the robot mode that's just hiding underneath the actual body itself, right? But from a display perspective, that's actually an impressive looking trailer. And when you put the cab on the front of it, it just gets even better. Now, a number of the accessories that comes with this, there is weapon storage all over this for most of the weapons that he comes with, but not necessarily all of the accessories. So we'll just take a quick look at his two smaller blasters first. This is for his Ginrai mode, or the Optimus Prime mode that the cab transforms into, and the handles can be folded away to reveal the peg. And both of these blasters can then store in the peg holes that are here on the back, just by plugging them in like that. Again, fold the handle away and plug it in on the back, and then you get some nice weapon storage there on the back. Now, if he is towing the trailer around, unfortunately, you cannot store these on the back of the truck, as you can imagine. But the trailer does, or sorry, the larger mode does come with these larger blasters as well, and same with the smaller ones. You can actually fold these handles away and then they plug into the top of the trailer. But what is nice is that you can actually pull the handle down on the smaller blaster and it will peg onto the back of the larger blaster, and now you have this larger double blaster, which of course then you can just peg into the top of the trailer. And it ends up looking like this. He does also come with these two gray double blasters. These are just gray molded plastic. The guns are also just black molded plastic, with lots of nice details in both the black blasters and these gray ones. These just plug in on the sides of the arms like this. And I will tell you that there's no stiffness involved with the pegs when you're attaching any of these. They all fit together very, very nicely. It's very easy to get them to fit on. And then one of the final accessories, or sorry, I guess two accessories actually that you get is, this is the Ginrai character, I believe. And this is a fixed figure. It doesn't pose. It's literally just fixed like that. The idea is that it's the pilot for the Optimus cab, and you can get him in by opening these side panels, and then you have to break away the entire cab, which then lets you'll see that there's a slot that is right here or right there that the base of the figure tabs into. I will tell you that this is not easy. It's a little frustrating, and it doesn't stay in there very well. But once you get it in, then you just collapse the cab back together, and then you can actually see the figure inside the cab. So a neat gimmick, but again, it is a gimmick. I would almost consider it an unnecessary. However, the real gimmick is this guy here, which is the actual transformable and posable PowerMaster figure, if you will. Not a whole bunch of posability. There is a bit of a ball joint that lets the arm move up and down a little bit. It does rotate up and down slightly. The real posability is actually built into the legs, right? It can kick forward all the way. It does have a knee bend. There is an ankle tilt or toe tilt as well. But all of that is really meant for the transformation, which looks like this. So that you get this. So this is the PowerMaster module that is supposed to plug into the front of the cab. And unfortunately this gimmick does not work very well. So you have this spring-loaded front grille that pushes in, and as you'll see there's a clip or a tab that's on either side that's meant to pinch the legs when you put it in. And it does work somewhat, so that you get this look, which is accurate to the cartoon, but the minute you touch this, it literally just pops out. So trying to leave this in the cab while you're doing the transformation, this will pop out on you, or if you do any type of manipulation with this, this will pop out on you. So I recommend taking this out when you're doing the transformation and then put it back on when you're done. So here's the Ginrai mode without the trailer, so this is just the cab transformed into the robot mode. Again, very cool looking figure with some nice details on it. Not a whole lot of paint, just like the truck. Most of it is just molded plastic, which again, I think I'm okay with given the colors that we're seeing here. It's very well done. And we don't have to worry about things like paint chipping or anything like that when we're manipulating or transforming it. It does have an Autobot logo that's black outline painted on the shoulders. They're not stickers or anything along that line. But this is red molded plastic all through here, blue molded plastic in the legs and the arms, even white molded plastic here with some painted details, like the silver in the forearms are painted, the yellow is painted, and the silver on the legs are painted as well. And then, of course, again, we have the chrome accents here with the grille in the front. And the smokestacks in the back, some transparent blue in the chest, and you can actually see the details inside the chest when you look through the plastic. Almost looks like a matrix is in there, so a matrix chamber that's going on, but you cannot open the chest plate, which is a little disappointing, but at least the details are there, so that's a nice touch from Takara Tomy on the figure. And like a really good looking Optimus head sculpt, if you will, right? Bright blue eyes, silver faceplate, that's all painted in the face. Silver detail here at the crest of the head with the antennas for the ears, but the rest of the head is actually blue molded plastic as well. But again, very good looking representation of Optimus, very tune accurate to both G1 and the Super Ginrai character. And some nice details in the molded plastic too, like even this black down here I don't think is paint. I think it's actually molded plastic inserts, and then some details in here as well. Just taking a look at the side profile, he does have a bit of a backpack. Nothing crazy like MP44, but it is, again, tune accurate to the cartoon with the PowerMaster character being in the back. Bit weird that this is in the back. Again, it is toy accurate. That is the design that they had, so be it. I do find that he does lean back a little bit. Again, the cab is die cast, so there is a bit of weight here. So sometimes you do have to play around with him just to get him to stand up straight. But I do find he has a tendency to lean back because of the weight of the cab. We'll go over the articulation, which is very, very good. So the head is on a swivel, so it does go 360 degrees. It unfortunately doesn't look forward at all. but it does look back a lot, which is part of the transformation to hide it away. The arms do go out 90 degrees, but they do also soft ratchet at the shoulder as well, so you can get the arms straight up and down. There is a butterfly joint, so you can reach straight across the chest. 360 degree rotation at the arm. Bicep swivel. Now I will tell you that butterfly joint does pop out very easily, unfortunately, and I just popped out the Ginrai character that was in the back. We get a double elbow joint, like a lot. We have a wrist swivel, articulated fingers. It is all one set of fingers, nothing individually articulated, then the thumb is fixed. There's also a wrist pivot just up and down. We have a whole bunch of posability in the waist, so there's actually a waist pivot, or rocker if you will, as well as a 360 degree waist rotation, and a ratcheted ab crunch, which is very, very nice. We have front and side skirts so that you can get the leg all the way out. Again, a soft ratcheted joint in there. The legs do also pivot inside the pelvic area, so you can actually rotate them down so that you can get a very high kick. And it does also go all the way back, even with the backpack in the way. We have a thigh swivel. There is a easy 90 degree, but there is also a double knee bend if you untab the knee here, and it is a very tight knee lock, so you can get well past 90 degrees here. We have a very good ankle tilt in, and there is a well toe tilt out as well, but there is no ankle. Sorry, there is a slight rocker out, but there is no toe tilt back. So we'll just go over the accessories. So again, these two blasters that he comes with, just black molded plastic, but a lot of nice details in them. And as you'd expect, there is a tab in the handle on either side, which means you just need to open up the hand and then of course tab it in to the hand, close the fingers around it, and it does have a decent grip, right? That's not going anywhere, so that's very cool. He does also come with a pair of these blast effects for the rifle with just a peg in the ball. This is really nice detail. It's actually sort of painted yellow, and it's not translucent. It's solid at the base, and then it gets more progressively translucent as you move down to the end. And of course, as you can imagine, this just pegs into the end of the blaster so that you get this effect. And the final pair of accessories that you can use with this mode is these lightning effects, or multicolored lightning effects, all translucent plastic in various colors, yellow, pink, and blue, again accurate to the cartoon. There is a tab at the base that is rotatable, and again it just tabs into the hand as well. So it just tabs into the hand very easily like that and gives you this effect. What's neat about both these effects is you can actually remove the base and it will actually plug into the end of the blaster just like the other blast effect, so that you get this. According to the instructions though, this is actually meant for the larger blasters, but I mean, it's your figure, you do with it what you want. But what we really want to look at is this mode right here, which surprisingly is actually a lot more exciting than I thought it was going to be. This thing is absolutely impressive, and it is huge. And I'll just bring in MP36 for a size comparison. So it's a little taller. Again, this is not an MP scale, right? So if it was MP scale, it would be a lot bigger than this anyway. But overall, the presence of this thing is just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it, more than I thought that I would, to be honest. The details, so again, like, not a lot of paint details going on. Again, they are skimping a bit, but I think it actually looks fine. And to be fair, again, I'm always concerned about painted figures with paint chipping and things like that, so I have an appreciation for this anyway. And most of the red is just molded plastic, right? So the red is molded plastic, the white hips are molded plastic, the legs are molded plastic, the gray for the trailer and the backpack is gray molded plastic. The only thing on this that I can tell that's actually painted again is the cab from the main figure, right? The Ginrai figure, the Optimus Prime looking figure, and the pieces of the head sculpt that are silver, and the blue eyes, and the center silver vent in the crest of the helmet. Otherwise, the rest of this thing is just molded plastic. Oh, sorry, the silver in the legs is painted as well. But it still has a really good shelf presence. It just has a lot of nice line details in it. There is a little bit of paint going on in here, but anyway, we've got lots of nice molded details all throughout the legs. Weird part is he doesn't have any feet, but if we take a look at the cartoon rendering, it looks like he doesn't have any feet in the cartoon rendering either. So I guess this is cartoon accurate. Again, just it is an overall very cool looking figure. If I was still in the MP collecting, I might actually keep this thing, but unfortunately I am going to be giving it away for the raffle, so it is not staying in the collection. Let's take a look at that head sculpt real quick, because it is very nicely detailed. Again, it is a larger version of the Optimus Prime head sculpt, right, that's on the main cab, but again, it has those nice details in it, the thicker antennas for the ears, this detailing on the side, the lights, or whatever that might be. Again, nice flat faceplate cover, bright blue eyes for Optimus. Everything you want in an Optimus Prime head sculpt, just very, very cool looking, very, very nice. Let's take a closer look at the side profile as well. So as you can imagine, there is a huge backpack going on here, which is all part of the trailer, but it still has like this fairly decent presence, right? Even from any angle, like, this backpack doesn't seem to detract from the overall presence of the figure, so I don't mind it that much, and it's understandable that this is all here. One of the disappointing factors of this, again, right, is this PowerMaster figure doesn't necessarily stay into the front cab. As you're manipulating it, it does pop out. I'm surprised it hasn't popped out by now with all the articulation I was doing. The other part is these two flaps on the side of the trailer don't seem to want to tab in properly. There is a tab that's right here that's supposed to hold this in place, but it just doesn't seem to be doing its job properly. The articulation on this thing, surprisingly, is also extremely good, given the size of the figure and the fact that it is kind of a combiner. Of course, this is all just trapped underneath the trailer, so the size of it should give us lots of articulation, and it does. So the head is actually on a pivot, so it does let you look down slightly. It does let you look up slightly. It does have the confused head tilt look, so it is on a bit of a ball joint in the back, and of course that allows us to do, right, a complete 360, so lots of articulation in the head. The arms do go up this far. You can also break away the top part of the shoulder just to get a little more bend there. And there is like a ratcheted joint that's happening here, so it's almost a double pivot that's happening in the shoulder for the articulation, as you can probably hear on the microphone. Arm does go around 360 degrees. It is a soft ratchet. It does have a butterfly joint, so it can reach across the front of the chest. We've got an elbow pivot. I will tell you that this butterfly joint as well is a little loose, but anyway, we have bicep pivot. Just a little past 90 degree on the elbow. I would have expected this to be a double elbow bend, but it's not, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. We do have a wrist pivot. If you break away the part of the transformation, you can get a wrist tilt, 360 degree on the wrist. We've got a single pin on the thumb so it can open and close, but it is fixed here. It's not a ball joint here, so it is fixed in this outward position. Single index finger with a pin at the primary and secondary knuckle, so we can use that as a separate trigger finger. And the other three fingers are also have that same articulation, but they're all one piece together, so separate index finger, and then the other three fingers are all together. We do have a ratcheted waist swivel. We do also have an ab crunch. This one isn't ratcheted, which is a little disappointing. I wish that that was ratcheted, especially with all this weight on the back of the figure. We have hip skirts on the side and in the front, which allows for soft ratcheted leg kick forward. You can get it, I guess it's more of a hard ratchet, but you can get it back slightly. That ratchet does cause this to pop loose, by the way, but of course the backpack impedes. With the hip skirts out of the way, then of course we have kind of a hard ratchet out to the right side, 90 degrees. There's also a thigh swivel. We do have a ratcheted knee bend that does go well past 90 degrees. And then finally the foot has a toe tilt in. It is a double hard, that keeps popping up, hard ratchet, but you do get a nice toe tilt, or sorry, ankle tilt in. There is no toe, there is a toe tilt forward, but it's part of that transformation, right? So you can actually rotate the foot forward and back to get a toe tilt forward and back. So we'll just go over the accessories too, and I'm just going to start with these ones very quickly because they're kind of minor, but they're meant to be attachments to the shoulder on either side. They do just go into the port that's here on the side of the shoulder, and it just extends the shoulder pieces out. I'm assuming that this is cartoon accurate to some degree, but all the pictures that I found from the cartoon show that the double barrel cannons go on the shoulders here and not these, but they are there to give you that look. Speaking of the double barrel cannons, here they are. So again, these are molded plastic like I talked about before when putting it on the trailer, and they just go into those shoulder ports as well. Again, most of the pictures that I found of this show the cannons positioned like that, but obviously you can position those whatever way you want. We do have the two larger rifles that he comes with, which operate the same way as the smaller ones in that you can fold the handle away to get this peg to port onto the alt mode or the base mode, which I'll go over shortly. And of course there is a tab on either handle which just pegs into the hand just like his main mode does. Oh, sure. What the fuck? I hate doing accessories. I hate doing articulation. Fuck off. So it just pegs into his hand like that, obviously, and then wrap the fingers around the handle, and you get that look. Holds into place, no problem. Good grip. Again, you do have the option, of course, of taking the smaller weapon and tabbing it on top of the bigger one to get a double barrel weapon if you want to do that with him. You could also get inventive with the smaller weapon if you want. Again, folding the handle away, you get the peg, so he does actually have an additional port on his forearm, so you could actually put these on as forearm weapons as well if you want. The blast effects, I think I showed these earlier, right? So we have the blast effects, and these also go into the end of the big rifle. We got the lightning effects that I showed earlier. So same idea, right, is that this will also tab into the hand. What's nice is that the base of this also comes off and can also peg into these larger rifles as well. So you can have that for your blast effect as well. You get an extra pair of hands that are completely blue as opposed to the hands that come into the figure that are a combination of blue and red, where the main part of the hand is blue and the fingers are red, so you can swap this out. This is actually really simple. It's as easy as just opening up the hand and you could slide it out from the top. And then of course just take the proper hand and slide it back in, close everything back up, and now you've got the blue hands, right, instead of the red and blue hands. There is this flight stand adapter that it comes with 2 pegs here, and this does just peg into the underside right here behind the main part of the backpack. It does go on very easily. It just sits in there like that. This does make the assumption though, because it only comes with the adapter. So this is making the assumption that you already have a Takara Tomy Masterpiece figure that came with the flight stand. So for example, I think Dinobot from the Beast Wars came with a flight stand, and of course all of the Seekers, right, the MP52 mold Seekers came with a flight stand, and this fits on top of that adapter, so you can put him in a, you know, leaping stance, if you will. It's a little annoying that he doesn't come with his own flight stand, that you have to have another flight stand, but it is what it is. And then we'll finally take a look at the 2 alternate head sculpts that he comes with. So this one here with the blue eyes, both of these look very similar to the one that it comes with. This one with the blue eyes does have like more angular, maybe angry features, I think, right? Like more aggressive looking features in the faceplate and the points and the edging around the crown and that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's exactly identical to the one that's on the figure already. And then the other one is exactly the same, pretty much, as this one. It has like the softer features in that, but the eyes are red instead. So that's really the only major difference between this one and the one that it comes with. The head, and I will mention that the head sculpt does just slide forward to come off, and I will tell you that it does it way too easily, in my opinion. I can literally do that and it literally pops off. So obviously this just slides. Sorry, there's an opening in the back, right? So it just slides on just like that, and then you'll get that look. Now, what happened to that head? Final few accessories. He does come with a bio card. It's not hard plastic. It's actually very soft. I think they've downgraded the quality of the card stock on these. Very flexible. I could fold this in half very easily. And of course the bio stats in the back. Some cool artwork on the front, so that's neat. He does come with this sticker sheet, which is stickers for this mode in particular, and in the instructions that I'll show in a second, it does show where all of these stickers go. I'm not putting these on because A, I'm terrible with stickers, B, I'm giving this guy away, and I want whoever wins this to have the joy of putting the stickers on themselves. And finally, it looks like Takara Tomy found their staple gun finally, because instead of having one of those horribly awkward folded pamphlets, we actually have a booklet, and the instructions and details in this are absolutely outstanding. It's very clear what each step is doing for the transformation, so kudos to Takara on that. That also does speak to the transformation as a whole. The transformation of all of these modes is very, very easy, so the instructions are also very, very easy to follow as well. Speaking of transformations, there is one more mode I'll show off on this, and it is the base mode for the trailer, so let's take a look at that. So I'm pretty sure this is just a reflection of the original toy, right, that the trailer could transform into the base mode. It's obviously not going to be the thing that we're most likely not displaying this mode, right, but there's so many nice details that are going on in this. It's almost a shame that we don't, right? I mean, there's so many interesting line details that are going on the base, right? We've got the painted Autobot logo here in the middle, this nice painted area in the middle, like a launch pad, if you will. It's actually a decent looking mode with lots of nice details in it, and again, a very easy transformation to get it into this mode. The only problem I'm having, again, like I mentioned with the legs, is these panels for the trailer, they don't seem to want to stay tabbed into place. I can hear it clicking into place, but it just doesn't want to stay there, which is unfortunate, because otherwise it's actually pretty good looking overall. So, and of course, with all of the accessories that he came with, right, so we have all of the weapons, the large rifle, the small rifle, and the double barrel cannons, right? These obviously can go into various places on the base, right? So we've got a port here in the side of the leg for the double barrel cannons, which can go here. Then we have, again, we just fold up all the handles for the rifles, and then these can go. Oh, sorry, right. These actually don't fit into the port that's here because the barrel is too long, so these can go here in the shoulder or here in the upper arm, right, whichever you want. There we go. And I'll just show both off. There you go, right, so you got one upper, one lower, and then these rifles can obviously, you know, they can go in the ports here, or actually like this here, because they do actually fit perfectly into the two ports that are here in the bottom of the base, like they're meant to go here. And then you get this look. So very cool. And of course all of this stuff can pivot, right, so you can play around with it, right? You can pivot all this stuff around. So again, not something that I think most of us are going to be displaying in, but it is a very cool looking mode, and it's a very easy transformation to get the trailer to this mode. So nice addition by Takara to fit this transformation into the overall design of the figure. Overall, this figure is a lot more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I was a little bit concerned about the take that Takara Tomy was going and ending the Masterpiece line and starting off this new line. They have changed the scale from Masterpiece to be a little bit shorter, but overall it is a standard Takara Tomy quality figure. Lots of decent feeling plastic, transformations nice and simple for both the main robot, the Ginrai figure, as well as the trailer, and the combination of the two of them is great. The posability and playability of both modes, the Ginrai character and the combined Super Ginrai mode, is absolutely fantastic, and as far as I can tell, it is accurate to the cartoon from the little bit of research that I did do. So kudos to them on keeping in line with that toon accuracy and hyper playability of this figure. It is actually a lot of fun. The only real complaints I have is the PowerMaster gimmick of the pilot that comes with the figure, which is a I think they call it a God Master character in the cartoon, or it's referenced as a PowerMaster character in North America, but the gimmick doesn't stick into the front of the cab as well as I would like. It did pop out every time that I touched the figure, so that's a little bit disappointing. But again, overall, it's a fantastic figure, and it's got lots of playability, tons of accessories to mess around with. Again, maybe a few more accessories than what we need. But again, overall, really enjoyable, surprisingly enjoyable for what I was expecting out of Takara Tomy and a new line like this. As I said earlier in the video, I am going to be giving this guy away as part of the monthly raffle that I have in support of Kennedy's Village. Kennedy's Village is a non-profit organization that helps to bridge the gap between research and care for sickle cell disease. So I am doing a raffle every month to help support that organization, and This month it is MPG-09 Super Ginrai that I'm giving away, so you can check the details down below in my description on how you can enter into the raffle to win this figure, and the proceeds from this raffle do go to Kennedy's Village to help support that organization. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, as always, I am the Rusty Mechanic, and we'll see you next time.